Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here today. 6 years ago, at this point in time, I was delivering my daughter in the hospital. So let's hope for all of us involved that this presentation today is going to be a lot less painful delivery than the birth of my daughter was. So I've heard a lot tonight about people sharing and creating together, creating art together, creating design together. And now my whole point of view and what I like to talk to you about today is that if we innovate together, we are also able to speed up innovation and to bring innovations to the market much faster. So, innovating the unknown, a hands-on perspective on open innovation. As was already introduced, I'm working at Hall Center, that is a not-for-profit research institute that works with open innovation, and hence that's the hands-on part in my presentation. Now, first of all, why do we want to innovate? And I'm not going to talk about economic growth because we all know we want to have economic growth. I've been working in research and advanced development for my entire working life. And why did I choose that career? Well, first of all, I couldn't sing like Nova or play guitar like Lisa, so couldn't do that, okay? But in the end, the big dream, I think, of all the people involved in innovation is actually really trying to change people's lives. We all hope that we will innovate and that our innovations will really change the lives of people. Now, there's a bit of an issue with that. In 1947, the transistor was invented. The transistor is a very small electronic circuit which basically creates all the ones and zeros that Bernardo Kastrup was talking about, and which actually made the whole computer era possible in the first place. Everything, from your mobile phones, your computers, your televisions, your DVD players, the liberation of light, it all actually has to do with this first invention. This first invention, the people who invented that were very smart people. But guess what? They never, ever had the idea that that transistor invention would lead to the invention of the mobile phone, would lead to the 3D type of collaborative, augmented type of art in 2010. So what we also see, and this was also already shown by Emil Arts, is that the adaptation of innovation usually is very slow. What a lot less people know is that before 1950, also the whole concept of mobile telephony is already shown. Okay, you had to be, a bit fit to carry around the phone because it was still pretty huge. But in principle, it worked. It worked in 1950. As all of you know, only around 1980, people started to see mobile phones for the general audience. And only by the year 2000, 50 years later, all of us were suddenly having mobile phones. And the best is yet to come. So what we need to realize is we innovate. We have no idea what the consequences of our innovation are going to be. Too bad, too sad. And also, the adaptation can take very long. All of this is still no problem as long as your innovation is adapted and adopted and becoming mass market in the end. Unfortunately, there are much more examples of innovations that indeed were great technology innovations, but that failed from an economic perspective, than that there are successful innovation examples. One example is Iridium. Great technological innovation. 66 satellites, which made it possible to have a phone connection, a satellite phone connection from the Himalayas to the desert. $5 billion has been invested in this system, only to be outraced, basically, by the cellular mobile phone, which I showed as a success story on the previous page. In the end, this has been sold, $5 billion of investment has been sold for only $25 million. Adaptation of innovation. Not sure it will happen. Segway, you have seen this car, right? By its introduction in 2002, a venture capitalist says, this is going to take over the market. We expect this to have a turnover of hundreds of millions per year in a couple of years. Well, I think you've seen some in airports and maybe in some city parks, but quite clearly mass adaptation, I don't think so. It's a niche market. So what should we learn? Long time? Not sure. Why are we still doing this? Huh? Then, on top of that, systems that we're working on become more and more complex with every generation that we're working on. And you need expertise from more and more different domains with every generation that we're dealing with. So what is happening, and I'm showing an example here about the chip-making industry, but I promise you this is true in really every high-tech innovation. The cost for research and development is increasing at a higher speed than the revenue is increasing. Now, simple mathematics. If this continues for a while, you're spending more on R&D than your revenue. Hence, you go out of business. So you have to do something. There's really also a need to do something. So what's my story? Huh? How can you cope much better with the unpredictability, with the cost increasing, with the complexity increasing? Don't do it alone, people. Let's do it together. Let's work together. Let's collaborate. Now, collaboration can be done in many different forms. And basically, we try to give 3 categories here, or I show 3 categories here. And of course, there's all kind of gray examples in between. The classical part is the company R&D. This is doing your research in-house, your development in-house, and you might use external partners, but these partners are completely controlled by the company that hires them. They say who the partner will be, they say what the partner will do, and so on and so on. The most non-constrained form of collaborative innovation is mass innovation. With mass innovation, you, me, everybody can contribute. There are no obligations, basically, because I cannot force any of you to contribute. So that's the most loose form of collaborative innovation. And in between, of course, there's open innovation, where we say, yes, we all work together, but we work together with a selected set of partners because we feel they all need to bring certain competences to the table. And we have certain obligations that we need to meet and certain requirements that we need to meet. Some examples: Lego Mindstorm, great example of mass innovation. Make a Lego design, put it on the internet, everybody can see it. There are no rules, there are no restrictions. It probably shouldn't be against, hurting anybody's feelings or being against the law. But for the rest, make your design, put it on the internet, be happy with it. Somewhere between mass innovation and open innovation is what Apple is doing with the applications they put. Yes, everybody can make applications, but Apple has a lot of rules and a lot of regulations that they need to fulfill, and the way to the market is only via Apple's network. So I would call that much more open innovation already than real mass innovation, but it's an example. So Whole Center, of course, is an example of open innovation as well. And there are many more, so Wikipedia, Linux, SourceForge, and so on. There are lots of different examples. We really see this growing. Now, are we telling companies that collaborative innovation is the answer to everything? Oh my God, no. What we want people to do is to ensure the right innovation mix. If you don't do anything, if you don't have any unique selling point yourself anymore, then you're not going to make money in the market, okay? On the other hand, open innovation is a great way to advance innovations which everybody needs, with less risk, with less money. And on the other hand, mass innovation is a very great way to speed up adaptation, to get user feedback, to learn what people like, what they don't like, and to also see the applications people invent which you never invented before, what you never thought of as the inventor of the technology. So the right mix is all that matters. Fortunately, this is not only my opinion, because then you guys shouldn't believe it. When asked in 2008 at the World Economic Forum, 100 top leaders from really big industries worldwide were asked how much of your research and development is done in collaboration today, and how much will be done in collaboration by 2013. You clearly see the trend from 40% doing less than 40% in collaboration in 2008 to 71% doing more than 60% of their research and development in some form of collaboration by 2013. So what are open innovation success factors? First of all, you need to have an ecosystem. You need to have a physical ecosystem, so it's quite nice if there are airports and roads and telephony and electricity and laboratories. But you also need to have the ecosystem, preferably in the neighborhood of universities where you can attract new people, of small, medium, and large companies, of even design and artists, I would say, because it's never only technology. And there we are really lucky, because look at the world and look at scientific collaborations. We see what you see on your side to the left is Silicon Valley, the highlight. And then on the right side you see a bit of Japan, a bit of China, a bit of India. And the big white blob in the middle, actually really centered around the Brainport region here, is actually us. Aren't we lucky? So ecosystem is covered. The trusted orchestrator. For open innovation, what you're doing is you put competitors together and let them work together as colleagues. Now, you do need a trusted orchestrator for that. You do need, like call center, can also be something else, but it cannot be a commercial industry, a party which looks out over everybody's interests and who will never become a competitor to these industrial partners. Okay? So that's the trusted orchestrator. Last but not least, it's always about people, and certainly in research and development it's about people, and nothing attracts top people like having other top people present. So talent, very important part of the whole picture. This is my birthday cake, by the way. It's 12 o'clock. Happy birthday to my daughter. Yeah, thank you. Now, many people tend to think that open innovation has been invented in the 90s when Chesbrough started to write books about it. Some people think it has been invented in the 80s when IMEC was started and some other first forms of open innovation have started. It's really not new. And I have an example here from 1607. In 1607, the Beemster area was reclaimed from water. Beemster area, for people outside the Netherlands, it's now on the UNESCO World Heritage List. And of course, reclaiming that from the water was a very hard thing to do. Windmills were the high-tech industry in 1607. Don't forget that. So what happened? There was also a team of people, the trusted orchestrator, actually including merchants, including government, including some others, who teamed up and who were this trusted orchestrator. And they invited the talent from all over the place to come and work and to build and innovate on these windmills and to reclaim the land. We have beautiful land to prove it. At that point in time, it was an investment of 1.5 to 2 million guilders, so that's about half of it in euros. But I can tell you that all the people that did that became very rich from it in the end, and we still have a very beautiful landscape to prove it. Now, what I like to do is to look at some of the technologies, some of the innovations we're developing, and then let you imagine what can happen with, you know, once these innovations are more complete. So, it's time for the video, just 1 second. Okay, sorry, 1 second. So think about the next version of light. Already bendable, can be cut into any shape, any form, no problem. Think about very tiny machines which can measure everything in your surroundings, but also on your body, ECG, EMG, your saliva, your blood. They will know if you have early stages of cancer, but they can also help you with Parkinson's disease. Think about EEG. You saw the example here of a brain-computer interface. It's still pretty big and bulky today. But now imagine, we're innovating. We're making this as small so that it can be in your glasses, that it can be in your hat, that it can be in your earrings. Imagine the type of applications we can then create. So, as the people from the nano supermarket, I cannot predict what the killer application of the future will be. But we can, and I can, work together with other brilliant and very passionate people from all over the chain, academic, industrial, engineers, researchers, designers, artists, medical doctors, the whole complete system, on creating this new future today. Thank you very much.